Hold on. And yeah, go.
Hello, my name is Paulina, and today I'm going to present the presentation about research I've done about both classic and modern game. So in this presentation, I'm going to describe main types of research, as well as saying what is a research. Then I'm going to present what I found about my two games, that is Legend of Zelda and Lego Lord of the Rings. After that, I will just tell about my experience from this whole task, and that's it. So first, what is a research? So research is an investigation, and where the person finds the information about whatever he or she needs, whether is by just experiencing something on yourself or searching for that. And everyone does research on daily basis, even when they don't notice it. Whether it's just finding about the football matches or new games which are coming out. And research is a key to any company, because with research they know if the game will be selling good or if people will like it. So those are four main types of research. Primary, which is first-hand research. The person makes the research on his own to find the information. Whether the secondary research is the opposite. The person searches, for example, through internet to gain the information which other people has written. There is also qualitative research about people's opinions, and it drills deeply into the questions why. For example, why do they like certain thing? And quantitative research is about numbers, statistics, and it's basically the more people answered those questions, then better. Those are the techniques I used for, those are research techniques which could be, which were used in the past and which are used in the modern days. So in the past, it was usually like those personal findings, whether on its own or from friends. There was also books, magazines, and posters. In the modern day, we can use all of above. And also, the main source of information is internet, as well like radio apps or expos or other conventions. And those are research techniques I used for both of games. So in Legend of Zelda, I just used only primary research, and that was the experience of playing the game on my own. Whether for Lord of the Rings, I was playing the game and also researching some other information. That's the Lego for Legend of Zelda and Lego for a logo for Lord of the Rings. And so Legend of Zelda is one of the first games of Legend of Zelda franchise, which was released in 90s by Nintendo Game Company, and it was available for SNES console. However, Lord of the Rings is one of the games from Lego franchise, which does games for very famous titles like Batman, Harry Potter, Indiana Jones. It's also an adaptation for a popular trilogy written by Tolkien, and it was released 2 years ago. The developers were Traveller's Tales, and publisher was Warner Bros. And it's available for a lot of consoles as well as PC. So the look of Legend of Zelda is very simple, as it was in many games from the past. It's made from pixels, and it has limited range of colors, mostly greens and browns. And it is simple, but it looks quite nice. Lord of the Rings, however, has detailed background, but very simplistic, cartoonish characters. And for me, those two things don't go very well together, and I just think they were lazy when making the background. Objectives and story for Legend of Zelda are very simple. It's just practically rescue the princess and defeat the final boss. For Lego Lord of the Rings, there is the main objective is to venture to Mordor and destroy the ring, but the story splits for 3 teams, and all of them have different objectives to progress. Like destroy the ring, that is Frodo and Samwise, and others have to win this great battle in front of the gate to Mordor, and two of them with Treants, they are destroying another main evil force, that is Saruman. So here is characters development about the hero, princess, and the main boss, which are very have a very simple design and influence of this story. However, in Lord of the Rings, there is a lot of characters, and they are dividing into like a main fellowship, that is characters for this story, and all over evil forces. Legend of Zelda has very simple mechanics, only allowing moving the player in 4 directions, and the battle may be very challenging by that, but also doesn't look very amazing. Whereas for Lego Lord of the Rings, you can move practically in any direction, but the controllers I was using to play it weren't telling the exact direction to move in. that's the word. It might look small, but it's quite big, and it has a lot of landmarks like those mountains, desert, forest, and they are very interesting. Whereas Lord of the Rings has much bigger world, but several places are empty. And those are my complaints about the things I didn't enjoy when I played those games. So in Legend of Zelda, the music is very boring, and that made me not want to play it further. And also the enemies weren't as various, very similar to each other, and also the story was very basic. With Lord of the Rings, I didn't like that they didn't include some things which appeared in the book and I really liked, and I found a lot of glitches when playing game, and also the variety in enemies wasn't that great. So those are little equations what I learned when doing this research. So a good game doesn't have to necessarily has very complicated, amazing design. And when I was searching most of those popular titles, like for example, Lord of the Rings, might be liked by a lot of people, but I not necessarily might like them as well. So there is about that with and I also didn't like that if someone wants to make a lot of characters, be better if they will make them various with some skills and or other things which will make them more different and improving the storyline. So that's the quick annotation I made. If I would want to apply this whole knowledge to my own game, so the better is to make the game which looks fairly simple but has very good story, which will be enjoyable for everyone, and to not make overly huge backgrounds, because then I might struggle with placing things into them, and also it's the main fact is to be creative with inventions and just put a lot of thought into it. That's we summarize for both titles. So that's the enjoyability. There isn't much. I enjoyed Lego Lord of the Rings a bit more, but not totally. And I wouldn't want to play those games again. And also the best part is in Lord of the Rings is the characters design and my favorite character Samwise. Whereas for Legend of Zelda is the melancholy the classic games are giving to us and graphics. And that's the end of my presentation. Thank you.